Good morning from Chicago, Illinois, and welcome to this morning's stream. We are here in the Delta A321neo, which is an actual aircraft that this airline does fly for a change. I don't think I've flown, well, not on a stream anyway, an airliner that the airline actually has, but for a change, we are in one that actually does exist. They do have 6 of these in their fleet, and of course they are fairly new additions, part of Delta's fleet renewal. Of course, we know Delta renowned for having not only the second largest fleet passenger airline fleet in the world, but also having some very, very old aircraft. Anyway, enough about Delta and their aging fleet. Let's get into some flying. So we are flying from Chicago O'Hare International Airport over to John F. Kennedy Airport in New York. So flight time's about 1 hour and 30 to 1 hour and 40 minutes. It is 5:30 in the AM Central Daylight Time in Chicago right now. So if we take a look outside, it is pitch black, and I don't have the custom airport add-on at all for this one. This is just the one that comes with the sim. Reason being is I cannot load custom airports in Microsoft Flight Simulator on the Xbox Series X. At the moment, I get nothing but crash to desktop, and I don't want to spend money on things I can't use. In fact, probably going to get in touch with Microsoft and Asobo Studios and get a refund on the purchases I have made that are not working. This is the latest beta update, which only updated last night. I think I had access to it, so I updated it. Have been playing around with settings all day today. I've had 5 crash to desktops and 1 flight, which is just absolutely ridiculous for a game that was designed specifically to be played on Xbox. Yes, it did come out on PC 40 years ago, because, well, consoles didn't exist then. But the 2020 version was designed to be played on Xbox and PC, and the fact that it just doesn't work is well, I mean, disappointing to say the least. But we have managed to load into Chicago. I had a crash to desktop loading this very flight, had to go back and redo the whole thing again. Also deleted all my synced data and downloaded 87 gigabytes of data today, which took quite some time, considering I have a 50 megabit per second download speed. My upload speed should be fast enough for a 1080 stream, which is what I'm streaming at now. But I live in Australia. We have the slowest internet in the first world, I think. I think it's safe to say that this country is so far behind with the internet, thanks to a completely and utterly useless government for getting infrastructure in place. But enough of whinging about Microsoft, Asobo and the Australian government and their lack of dedication to internet services in this country. Let's get into the flight. So we'll start off with some weather information. I can bring that up on the full screen. So at the moment, Chicago, this was updated 43 minutes ago. I can't get an earlier update, but there is no wind at all. So we are taking off from runway, I've got 4 left on the screen. We're actually taking off from runway 10 left, so it's a straight out departure. I had the choice of any runway I wanted, and they've got, what haven't they got? They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, they've got 8 runways in Chicago O'Hare. So the choice of those, no wind, it should be beautiful flying conditions. Over into John F. Kennedy, we do have, where are we coming in on? I'm coming in on runway 4 right, and we have a near headwind at 5 knots. If I check the history of that one, let's just go through the history. It's a little bit all over the place, but that was 2:51 a.m., so that was a few hours ago. So hopefully that doesn't really change. It was 7 knots early, a few hours earlier, now it's down to 5. So hopefully it stays within that range as we come in. Scattered cloud down to 14,000 feet, and then looks like there's a bit of a break, then scattered to 4,400 and more at 2,200. Few clouds at 2,200. So we should get some, I think, some views as we come in. We are coming in, so we're vectoring east and then we'll head south, and we are coming in pretty much a straight-in approach to runway 4 right. So we won't go anywhere near New York City or Manhattan as you would if you come into LaGuardia. But I think you'll be able to see, of course, you'll be able to see the city lights of the largest city in the USA as we come in. So I've already requested my IFR clearance. We are cruising at 37,000 feet today. And I've already programmed everything in. Well, I haven't programmed it in. The game has programmed it in. If you've played this on Xbox, you know that there is a pretty easy flight planner before you even spawn into your airport. So distance 742 nautical miles, and we will reach the classic cruising speed of 0.78 Mach. But without any further ado, let's load up and we will get this underway. So, actually before I do that, because I haven't tested anything, I'm just going to check that we have got the Yoke connected to the Airbus side sticks. We're flying a Cessna Yoke on a Boeing. This is the Turtlebeach Velocity 1. I think it was modelled, I could get this wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was modelled on the Cessna, maybe the 172, could be the Grand Caravan. They might be the same Yoke, I don't know. It's the only controller I have, and I prefer Airbus equipment, so it's sort of, yeah, it sort of goes against nature, I guess, flying an Airbus A321 with a Yoke. Anyway, I'm just going to check that we do have reverse thrust. Yes, we do. And we have rudder pedals. Of course, I'm using the rudder pedal controls on the Yoke itself. I'm very excited that Turtlebeach has finally officially announced that they will be releasing actual Velocity 1 rudder pedals to go with this setup. And I have already got my email address on the contact list, so as soon as they have any updates to it, I will be notified and we'll be able to get them onto pre-order. Regardless of the cost, I don't care. I want rudder pedals. It can be quite challenging controlling the rudder on the Yoke and also the Quadrant at the same time somehow. My right hand has to be in 2 places at once. Sometimes I have to do a bit of a reach over, but that's just how it goes. Anyway, I'm babbling on too much about what the equipment I'm using to fly with. Let's get some systems on. So let's get some nav lights on. Beacon light will come on. Strobe light will go on to auto. We'll have that turn itself on when we are airborne. Batteries can come on, and we'll hit the APU master switch. Wait those 3 seconds. 2 and 1, get the APU started, and I'm going to unroll the landing lights as I always do. They're not illuminated. I'm just unrolling them. And I'm just going to have a quick look around the grounds to see who's around, and hope to hell this does not crash to desktop while I'm doing this. This is usually where it does crash. You can see got United Airlines have come in from Canada. Is that Vancouver, I think? Very, very quiet. Oh, no, then we've got Alaska Airlines come in from Seattle, Tacoma. Who else have we got? KPDX, I don't know that airport. MMX, I don't know that one either. See, one's in the States. I don't know what that one. Oh, is that Mexico? Is that Mexico City? And that is, what's that? I can't remember the name of the Mexican airline. So not a lot of people around at 5:30 in the morning at Chicago O'Hare. That would make sense. Anyway, the APU has kicked in. So I'm going to get seatbelt signs on, external power off. I'm going to retract the jetways. We'll get that moving away any minute now. There we go. Now I do have an add-on that changes the jetways and the pushback tug and the catering trucks and everything, but that crashes to desktop straight away. And actually, if we just look, I don't know if you can see where my mouse is. That there is the tail of an Air New Zealand A320neo. I'm not sure what the 320neo from New Zealand is doing in Chicago. You're a long way from home. Would have to do a lot of island hopping to get to Chicago. Let's begin our pushback. So we'll get that tug in place, and while we're waiting on them, we'll get the APU bleed on so the passengers don't overheat with the lack of airflow. Get some, so fuel pumps are on, and I'd like to put the ignition switch into start position. And I'll release the parking brake now, just to keep the tug operator happy as we can. And I'll just refresh the weather while I'm here because I want to see if my QNH is set correctly. 30.04, but that was 109 minutes ago, so maybe that isn't correct. Okay, pushback has begun. We're going to turn the aircraft tail to the left and line up on that taxi line, which we can see the green lights just behind us there. So I'll start that now. May have been a little bit too late, but it doesn't matter. And while we're doing our turn, we'll get engine number 1 fired up. And we have got N2 coming up, so we will have a positive start. I wonder who that one is there. Is that just a generic paint job? It looks like it is. Oh, we actually started the pushback turn just a little bit early on that one. Thought it was actually a little bit late. Get the parking brake on. Wait for the engine to come up. While we're waiting for that, of course, I will turn on the AI radio comms, so I don't have to worry about that at all. And because it's a little bit dark, we're just going to get that taxi light on early. It gives us a little bit of illumination in the front. You can see Air France A321neo over to the right there as well. I'm not sure if they could make it to Chicago either. So engine number 1 is completely and utterly up. We'll get number 2 is up and stable. We'll get number 1 up. And the hydraulic pumps are just kicking in, getting those up to pressure. So because they are pressurized, we will, I don't know if that's the right term, by the way. Care factor 0 on that one. So flaps to 1, and we will arm the spoilers now as well. And there we go, it's given us our taxi ribbon. Let's just wait for engine number 1 to come up, and we will taxi out to the runway. I don't think we've got too far to travel to the runway, actually. So we are taking off from, no, it's up here. Where is it? 10 left, sorry, 10 left. Also a little bit of a taxi, but not too much. That sounded like engine number 1 had gotten up to 20%, so we'll turn the ignition off, get the APU turned off. I've already turned on the taxi lights. And the parking brake can come off now as well. So let's get some power into the engines and get up to speed. The other thing I've noticed with this latest update too is the aircraft is sticking to the tarmac like there's no tomorrow also. I was having to taxi, I can't remember what airport I was at. I was at Gatwick when I did my test flight after doing all the updates and re-downloading all the data, and taxiing through there, and there was 2 or 3 knots of wind. It wasn't a headwind, and I had to put the power up to 40, I think it's 45% to maintain 16 knots on the ground. It was a little bit weird. So we'll see if it behaves differently here in Chicago. It looks like it's actually fine. But I'd rather just let go. Might turn the ATC window on while we're taxiing, because there is a little bit of traffic around us. Actually, no, it's not. It's way over the other side of the... Never mind, cancel that. The other thing that will come with the rudder pedals is the dynamic braking. Oh my god. Can we just... Far out. Oh, we have to sort of do the... sort of an S-turn. Really bugs me in this simulator that it just gets you to the runway by what it thinks is the quickest path, and sometimes it just makes you do all these little turns where if you just keep going past one or two turns and just make the one. I'm pretty sure aircraft wouldn't be snaking around like this if they can avoid it. So this is a absolutely massive airport. We have nothing like this size in Australia where I live. Sydney is fairly big, but it would still not even come close to half the size of Chicago O'Hare. Or O'Hare, I don't know if I'm saying that right. And it looks like the sticking to the tarmac issue is happening here as well. I might have to pump this up to about 37%. I just feel like that's a little bit too high for taxiing. But we're only doing 11 knots on the ground. Could be going up a slight incline. The metadata has just updated, and our QNH has changed to 30.05. Wind is still none, which is brilliant. Visibility 10 miles. There's no cloud. It is a beautiful morning here in Chicago. 16.7 degrees centigrade on the thermometer, which is quite a nice morning. I suppose Chicago, the USA is coming into their cooler months though as we get to the end of the year, whereas it's the opposite here in Australia. We have started spring, is warming up already. In fact, I can feel the air temperature being quite humid and sticky where I am, and I might need to put the aircon on. I will do that once we are airborne. Oh, okay, we're definitely picking up speed now. Yeah, I think we were actually on a bit of an incline because it looks like we're on a decline now. So I'll just get that speed below 20 knots, keep the ground controllers happy. Are we there yet? No, it's going to take us all the way to the end of this taxiway. I said it was going to be a short taxi. Well, no, I didn't say it was going to be a short taxi, but I didn't say it was going to be a long taxi, and this is quite a wee way. But like I said, this is a massive airport, so it makes perfect sense that we are taxiing for quite a while. I think it's in the top 5 busiest in the USA as well, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it would make sense if they've got 8 runways and a ton of gates. Awesome, I'm going to get the ATC window back on because they will give us some information as soon as we get to the end of this runway. Actually just going to stop, double check some things before we make our turn out and take off. So I'll just stop right there, 3005, wind calm, excellent. So the metadata is correct. Just check, we have got spoilers set, the flaps are set also. Seatbelts are on, we'll get the landing lights on, all the other lights that are on, that should be on. Yep, we are good to go. So chuck some more power into these engines and we'll just get us out onto the runway. Forgot to check what is our, I did check this for 177, yeah, so 177 for rotate. See if you can line this up perfectly on turn. Oh, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Just let it go a little bit. Okay, so put the nose down just a touch. We'll get these engines up to about 50%-ish. Go, they are holding stable, so all the way up to flex. Until we're at 177. It should stay pretty much on centre line the entire way. Zero wind. Obviously if I make any little adjustments it's going to move us around a bit. As it's doing now. There we go, passing 100, so release the nose. Come on, stay on centre, stay on centre. 130, 140. Don't tip. 50, 60, 70, and there we go, rotate. Positive rate gear coming up. I'll try not to space shuttle this bitch. We can almost lose that flap. In fact, we will. We'll lose that flap. Someone can tell me what that beeping is. I do get that sometimes when I take off. It's not a marker, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I'm overpowering my engines. Lever back down to climb. And here's the real test. When I put on the automatic pilot, does it shift us? Yeah, it did. It shifted us a little bit to the left. So that's the game telling me you're not aligned, but that's fine. So just check that they are in the right position. They're just a little bit out. Oh, come on, get in there, you bastard. And we will lose that spoiler as well. Or, sorry, disarm that spoiler. Now this is a pretty much straight out departure, so I'm going to put the navigation display all the way up to 320 nautical miles now. And I think we had to climb to 7,000? I forget. 9,000. Okay. I have been having this weird error with the Turtlebeach as well, where any one of the buttons on this on the quad will just randomly activate mid-flight. Also, on landing, the parking brake came on just the other day when I was maybe 800 feet above the runway coming in for landing, and the parking brake decided to just turn itself on. And it's not the first time. I did I pre-recorded a video just the other day, just yesterday actually, because I'm not doing a stream on Sunday. So I pre-recorded a video for that. And yeah, I mentioned the same thing, that the parking brake keeps coming on. And the other thing that I've done as well is because I've got the SIP working. So if I move this piece of plastic here, and if I point here, oh, it's not saying it. It's not doing it. Oh, have they fixed that? It usually flashes low fuel because I've got, like I've only got, just a little under 9 tonne. This thing can take 24 tonnes, so it will flash low fuel. So I've actually covered it with tape. Anyway, we're above 10,000, so landing lights can come off. And we'll retract those, and we'll get that taxi light all the way to off as well. And that actually probably, did that give us a, yeah, 210. So climb and maintain flight level 210. And we have a pretty nice sunrise as we jet our way across to the east coast as well. I purposely did this flight purely for that, but you can see the red sky in front of us as the sun comes up. Oh, while we're climbing to 210, I'm just going to go and turn my aircon on before I overheat in my little apartment. Just one sec, guys. You probably hear the beeps, actually. Where is it? There we go, that's on cold. That will keep me cooler. Okay, where are we at? Approaching 140. So ETA at this stage is 12:14, currently it's 10:56. Estimating that it's going to be about 12:35. I think it'll adjust itself with the ETA. I just heard a click. Did those switches activate themselves again? No, I'm hearing things. There was a definite distinct click in the cockpit somewhere though. What is going on? No, everything is normal. I didn't turn on is weather and turbulence. Not that I think we're going to need the weather and turbulence. In fact, I might bring up the windy charts and see what the weather is doing between Chicago and New York. If I can find it on the find it on the map. Where are you? Keeps trying to take me to it. Oh, yeah, I know I'm in Australia. I want to look at us. I don't care about Australia's weather right now. Where are you? Oh, there we go. Wow, it's pretty calm. I can actually bring that up on screen. Am I in the right place? Oh, I was looking at Canada. So of course we come from up here and we should be flying over the lake. We are. And yeah, there's not a lot of wind. It's very slow moving all the way through. And we will come down this way here. Hopefully I don't get lost on my way. So sort of heading east and then south and from... Oh, no, I've gone too far north. Sort of come down below Atlantic City and then we'll cut up. Pretty much follow the coastline. So if you can see Toms River, Neptune, and up into New York, which is 19 degrees, and that wind is still, it looks like it's an exact direction of the runway that we'll be coming in on. And 19 degrees centigrade in New York as well. So it's quite a nice morning there. It should be a warm day. But yeah, so we shouldn't have a lot of turbulence or actually any weather at all along the way. It's going to be pretty clear. You can see off the coast it's a different story. It is raining out in the Atlantic, and looks like there's a bit of a pressure system. I don't know if that's low or high pressure. I forget which one's which. But there's a pressure system sort of further out. But that won't affect us at all because we're just going to run up the coast and into New York. In fact, I've just missed it. We've gone above 18,000, so I can get the QNH to 992, and also I didn't check our next yes, a 310. So cruising altitude of flight level 370 today. I'm going to go for an outside view and just have a quick look, even though it's not really the lightest outside. You probably notice that there's no cabin lights on in the aircraft. I'm flying the no cabin version of the A321 just to try and keep the crash to desktop to an absolute minimum for streams, but it's not like I would have gone back through camera view into the cabin anyway and look at those zombie people and people half in seats. And I mean, it is nice that the designer of the aircraft did include some of the people, but it sort of has a bit of a GSX feel to it at the moment. If they improve it or not, I don't really care. I'm not too fussed as long as the aircraft handles as it should, flies nicely. I don't really care about the passengers, to be honest. So another 1,000 or so feet and we will hit max speed, then we will start to, our knot speed will start to slow down while our max speed remains at 0.78. We should get a bit more climbing power as well as we go in. If you do have this A321 and you've been flying the LEAP version of this aircraft, it has the shittest climbing performance ever. It drops right down to sort of 900 feet per minute on the climb, to the point I've had a couple of flights where I could not get up to cruise altitude before I had to start to descend again. So I try to avoid flying the LEAP aircraft. Having said that, my next stream, which is on the 15th of September, is in the EasyJet A321 LEAP aircraft, and so we'll experience that shitty climb rate. And I have said before in my last stream, I have no idea if that's correct in the modelling, if that is the difference between the two aircraft in real life, but that's how it is in the sim. And I tend not to fly it if I'm just flying for my own leisure. So we have passed 263, so max speed has kicked in, and you'll see, I don't know if you actually can see on the screen, but we are climbing at 2,300 feet per minute. Before we hit max speed, we were climbing at 1,900 feet per minute, so it has given us a bit of a boost in the climb. So we should reach flight level 310 fairly soon. Actually, one thing I did not check, and I have no idea of, is do Delta actually fly this exact route? I know JetBlue do, because I think they are considered a New York airport. Where is not Dallas? What am I doing? Chicago. I had Delta in my brain, and I was thinking Dallas for some reason. Chicago O'Hare International. Of course, this information is from Wikipedia, so it might not be accurate at all. Passenger airlines, American Delta. They do. Okay, they do. They fly New York to New York JFK and New York LaGuardia. Oh, so do Delta Connection as well. Might be on slightly too large of an aircraft to for this route usually, but that's fine. 200 plus people want to get to New York at a time, so they put on the A321. Actually, I did want to see how many of these have they got on order. Oh, we're past 3. I'm just not paying attention. We've passed 310. The ATC has scrolled all the way to the top. Yeah, we go. So climb maintain 370. So the ATC will remain off until we start making our descent down into New York. And the sun is making an appearance dead center ahead of us. That's what's checking. A321neo. Oh wow, okay. So they've got 149 on order. They have 6 currently in the fleet. That's if this information is up to date. Doesn't say that they're replacing their 757 fleet with the A321, but they do have 126 757s between the 200 and between the 200 and 300 variants. So that order would make sense that they're using the A321neos to replace those, possibly. I mean, they have 127 A321 200 COs. Oh, it's just such a large fleet. 873 aircraft in total, 353 on order. And according to this, the largest Boeing that they fly is a 767-400ER, and the largest Airbus is the A350-900 with 24 in the fleet and 20 on order. I do know that some of the 350s that have come into the Delta fleet have come from a South American airline, complete with the same seat configuration that airline would have flown them with. Is there another aircraft out to the left-hand side of us? I didn't see how busy. Whoa. A few flyers around. Is there also one underneath us? Ah, that sun's bright. Oh, there is. Right there. At a much lower altitude, of course. So nearly at 370 already. I just love the climb performance of the Pratt & Whitney Neo that we're flying in. I did not start my stopwatch on the Yoke. I wish I had, but we did sort of leave just after 5:30-ish. So it's about 20 minutes from takeoff to cruise. That's pretty good. Again, I don't know how accurate that is. I have no idea. So we're more or less leveled out at cruise. Still climbing at 200 feet per minute, but that's pretty much level for this aircraft for now. We'll turn the seatbelt signs to off. Passengers are free to move about the cabin. We'll just check there was an updated time. It still says, it says 12:13. It said 12:15 before, I think. Maybe it did say 12:13. But that I'm guessing that is going to update, and we'll get an updated ETA as we get closer to JFK. We should start making a turn to the right fairly soon, the next 10 miles. Otherwise, everything is all fine. Spoilers remain disarmed. That's the other thing that happens. The spoilers will arm themselves because they are bound to one of these buttons. In fact, you can do it's right, that one right there. And they'll arm themselves. The gear doesn't go up and down on its own, which is good. I do have them bound on the buttons too. But the strobe lights will change. The landing lights will too. Taxi lights, beacon, nav lights, and parking brake comes on. So it's a bit of a pain. Fortunately, I have got lights for the parking brake down here, so I can see at a glance without having to look. I was going to point at my screen. You can't see that. Well, you can actually, without having to look down onto my monitor display and change this for you to see that it's on. But then also it does come up on the center display here as well. So I might just put this into outside view for a little bit. And I'm just going to use the little captain's room for 5 minutes because I've had a lot of water and it has gone right through me. I will be right back very soon. Sorry, that took a little longer than I thought. I just had my housemate ask me something. Where is the right button? There it is. See, that time's updated already. Yeah, it has. Yeah, oh, look at that, 12:34. So I think I said 12:35. So not bad guessing. Of course, I have flown this route probably about 6 times in the last fortnight, purely in preparation for the stream. So yeah, so it usually does change. Speaking of streams, so I am streaming 2 times a week. This is Australian Eastern Standard Time, Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m, Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. Right now it is Thursday night here in Australia, 13 minutes past 9 at night. So this is obviously the Thursday stream. I understand that in the States this will be Wednesday morning, and then on Sunday mornings will be a Saturday afternoon. The next stream coming up is I actually don't know. I thought I said it was oh no, then yeah, the next stream is not Sunday morning. I'm skipping that one because I'm off to a massive big Lego convention here in where am I? In Brisbane, Australia, because I'm also an adult fan of Lego and build ridiculous large great ball contraptions and display it to the public. So it's our first one in 3 years. So I'll be there this weekend, actually as off from tomorrow morning, or from Friday morning my time. I'll be off in a van with a ton of bricks all put together to get set up for Saturday morning's opening display time. So I'm having to skip the stream, but I have made a pre-recorded video flying from where did I go from? Did I do Melbourne to... I can't remember where I flew. Is it Brisbane to Sydney? I'll look it up. I really can't remember what I did. Where did I save that, I wonder? It was just recorded as opposed to streaming it. Of course, I did not name the file. Oh, no, I did. I'm telling you lies. No, don't open the video. You know, I went from Brisbane, which is my home airport, to Sydney, so it's just a quick hour's flight in the Qantas A321neo. It's my favourite aircraft to fly at the moment, so I'm doing a lot of operations there. Of course, I do have the A320neo as well that comes standard with the basic or the standard flight simulator option when you get the game via Game Pass, which is how I access it. And have a few liveries. Actually, I think at last count I had something like 80 liveries, or it might have been 75 liveries, not including the ones that come with it. Download a few livery packs, including one that has a sound pack from Breddock 3D, which sounds really, really nice. And while we're on sound, actually, the 321 Neo with the LEAP engines has a much nicer sound profile than the Pratt & Whitney. Again, I don't know if it's accurate, but to me it sounds more realistic after having flown on, not captaining or piloting. I'm not a pilot in the real world. But after being a passenger on A320 CEOs, the LEAP engines sound a bit more closer to that. So I have no idea of the accuracy of either of these aircraft, but I think it sounds nicer. I just wish it would have much better climb performance. So a little under 1 hour and 15 minutes to go on this flight before we will be at the gate in JFK. Really hoping I don't get a crash desktop in JFK, because it's a handcrafted airport and I've always had trouble with those. I've mentioned this in a stream before. Paris Charles de Gaulle is the worst. The frame rate drops like a freaking piano from the 20th story off a building. So annoying because it's a beautifully designed airport for a free one. I'm pretty sure they come in one of the European World Updates. It might have come with the sim from the start, but Sobo, you need to fix that stuff. It's just awful. It's nothing worse when you finish a flight that's over an hour and a half long. You come in, you land, and you want to do the whole realism thing, taxi the gate and connect the jetway and blah 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 blah, and you just crash the desktop before you've just after you left the runway to taxi in. It is just it's heartbreaking. Yes, it's just a video game, but oh my god, sort your shit. I've been reading up on it. Apparently, it's a memory issue, not physical memory with the Xbox, but I'm not sure what it does. I think it just floods the memory, and they're trying to fix that. I just heard a whole lot of clicks, and my park brake has come on. That error is still happening. If I go up to the upper panel, yep, our landing lights have come on. So we'll turn those off again, and the taxi light. My beacon light's turned off. That's not ideal. We'll turn that back on. Everything else is all fine up top. But if I go down below, yep, see the spoilers have armed, and my park brake has come on. I think this is a Turtlebeach issue. I'm pretty sure. I might take all the binds off these buttons and rebind them and see what happens. But some flights it doesn't happen at all, but this one, obviously it happened, and the last one it happened. It's a bit of a pain. Actually, it's better than the issue I had with before this latest firmware update, was where my throttles will go back to 0 mid-flight. And so if I just, because sometimes I'll load up a flight that's a couple of hours long, and I won't sit here for the whole duration of it because I just want to do the landing. I'll check back every 5 or so minutes, and my throttles have gone back to 0, and the aircraft has lost 15,000 feet in altitude. That's a bit of a pain. That problem seems to have stopped, but now I've got a new problem. And it's not just the A321, it happens in the 320 as well. So that's why I'm thinking it's the Turtlebeach. Oh, and if I just pull that back, so if you look on the webcam, you'll see where I'm pointing at, and about the just almost center of the webcam screen. See that flashing orange light? That is low fuel, because we are down to 7.7 tons. And it thinks that we have low fuel, which we don't. We have more than enough, and then some to get to JFK, go-arounds, alternative airports, etc., etc. As I've said before, airlines do not fill the tanks up before each flight, and we'll top it up before each flight, because the more fuel you have, the more weight you have, which in turn means there's a higher fuel burn. So they try to keep the aircraft as light as they can, and obviously they have calculations for contingency fuel, go around, all that sort of thing. But for some reason the Turtlebeach tries to tell me that it's low fuel. So hence why, in fact, I'll take this off and show you live on the webcam, or if you're watching this on replay, if I show you this, you can see this big silver square here, but there's electrical tape. So I've coloured in the back of it with Sharpie and then put electrical tape over it as well, just to stop that light coming through, and it works quite well. It does mean that I don't have a low fuel warning light, say if I did need it, but of course I can see by looking, my fuel on board is 675 kilograms, and so I've only had this update for the last few days, and I've never needed a low fuel warning on the SIT before, so I can definitely remain going without it. Of course, I did see some aircraft off the right side. There's one there and one there, cruising along, probably at that altitude. Where are they going? Are you going to Detroit? Where are we? They're going up to, oh, no they're not, they're going to, what's that? Oh yeah, they're going to Detroit. Ah, what a guess. Was there another one there? Oh no, it might have just been a glitch in the matrix, possibly. I thought there was another one coming across under them and below me. Of course, as that sun is coming up, I need to brighten the displays. Oh, yeah, no, you guys can see them okay. Not the most exciting views as we come across these Great Lakes. Are they called the Great Lakes? There's another aircraft over there too. Oh, and I saw the flash of lights. Or was it just my cursor? It might have just been my cursor. Yeah, it was. It was the cursor. That stupid white dot that I wish I could turn off. Go away, white dot. I don't use you. I have a Yoke and Quadrant. I don't need to use the Xbox controller to control things. Actually, on that subject, let me know in the comments whether you're watching this live, or you're not, because I can see not many are. But if you watch this on replay, if you do fly Flight Simulator on Xbox, and do you have a Yoke or side stick and quad, or do you use just the Xbox controller? I'm interested to know. I tried once to fly this with the Xbox controller and failed miserably. It was just, did not like it at all. I just had no control of the aircraft. I felt it was too sensitive, and that was before I got the Turtlebeach. I was waiting for it to come in. It was on pre-order, and it took. I mean, they delivered 2 days earlier than they promised, which is great. But I was just hanging out for it, just waiting for it, and so I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. I'll try it with the controller, and it was shit. And but there is I can't remember who it is. There's a YouTuber who does tutorials on all sorts of games. Flight Sim is also one of them. In fact, it's how I learnt to land using the ILS system, because I had no idea otherwise. And he uses the controller, and even has up graphics on the screen showing what buttons he's pushing. And it's too many combinations at once. I'm happier with with what I've got. And speaking of controllers, well, not controllers, but peripherals, latest addition to the setup is this gel wrist rest mouse pad, because my wrist was getting sore. I work in IT for my day job, my normal job, my only job, and so I'm on a computer all day, and then I come home and I use these slim Logitech mice, really nice. They make no clicking noise, really smooth, and so I've got one for the PC for streaming, and they've got another one which is connected to the Xbox with the keyboard, because I do use the keyboard and mouse for Flight Sim, and but the slimline, and so my wrist was sort of quite low on the desk, and I was just getting really sore, so I got one of these gel wrist rests, and huge difference. I had no pain in my wrist whatsoever. So definitely needed that, and also I find my mouse doesn't wander. Before I had the mouse pad, the mouse could end up anywhere on the desk, because I'll be moving it around blindly while I'm watching the screen. But with the mouse pad and my wrist being in the one position, I don't wander the mouse all over the desk and have it in all sorts of weird places. The mouse for the PC for streaming sort of sits off to the side, so it's because they're exactly the same. So I just keep that off to the side, so I don't accidentally grab that one and try to click things in Flight Sim, which I have definitely done before. Of course, that all sits on a large and oversized mouse mat, which is just covered in dust. It attracts dust like there's no tomorrow. I just brushed it down the other day too. Being black, it shows up everything too. So does the Yoke, actually. The Yoke gets covered in dust. I don't have a dust cover for this. I probably should maybe invest in a dust cover. I blow air out. I use canned air and blow dust out of the slits on the thrust levers quite often, because I'm really worried about getting dust damage inside them. It's not a cheap component to replace if I ever had to. Just have a quick look around the grounds. Oh, there's a few aircraft. I don't know why I sound surprised. It's actually quieter than it's been when I've flown this route. There's generally a lot of air movement, air traffic at this time of day coming into New York. I'm just going to check how we're going for time. 12:34 hasn't changed. So another hour and 5 minutes until we're at the gate at Kennedy. Oh, I thought there was someone flying parallel to us. It's not, they're flying the opposite direction. Oh no, there is someone flying almost parallel to us. I wish on this VFR map I could actually see information about the aircraft that are in the area. I suppose it wouldn't be realistic because you can't do that in real life. But when you're creating your flight plan in the game, you can zoom in and hover over aircraft that are like gamers that are actually live in the sim. But yeah, it'd be cool if you do that with the VFR map. I imagine it would be a lot more computing power, of course, and I'm already trying to minimize crashes to desktop as it is, so maybe I'm just asking for a little bit too much from the Asobo Studios team. But I mean, it's a feature that'd be cool. And speaking of cool features, it would be awesome if Navigraph released an integrated app for the Xbox version of Flight Sim as well. I see a few, well, in fact, almost every streamer or anyone who puts puts videos up on YouTube, they use Navigraph charts, and I'm just really jealous. I wish I could. I mean, I could access them through the iPad, like I use the metadata as well, but it's not integrated into the sim, and I'd prefer to create my more realistic flight plans through that than the ones offered in the simulator. But maybe one day I'll get a PC. Who knows? Of course, if I do get a PC, I won't have this really shitty frame rate. You see how if I move around, it jitters. I mean, this is all I know. To me, it's normal. But it would be nice to have a bit more realism with the PC version. I mean, that's on me. That's on me to get. I'm not bitching about that. And if and when I do get a PC, I won't be flying the this A321neo that was available in the marketplace. It's not the best version of this aircraft for the sim, but it does okay. But there's better versions out there that I could get if I was on PC. Would probably have a lot less crash to desktop issues if I was on PC as well. They wouldn't go away completely, but I wouldn't be tempted to throw things at computer monitors out of pure rage, thanks to CTD issues with this game. But I'm going to nip out for another quick break, just another couple of minutes. I will be right back. Just double check the time again, so 12:34, so we'll probably start a descent 12:10, so that is another, it's 41 minutes exactly. So if you're watching this live now and you're kind of getting over the boring cruise bit, where you'd usually be watching in-flight film or eating some peanuts, flirting with the cabin crew, or just gazing out the window endlessly waiting to get to your destination, then check back in around 40 minutes where we'll probably be around top of descent about then, and that's where the exciting stuff happens with the landing. But for the next 5 minutes I am just going to go and have a quick break, and I will be back fairly soon. I'll put this to outside view, so you get a bit more of a view of the scenery and the other aircraft flying around, but I'll be back real soon. I'm back with you. I took my headphones off and realised it's raining outside at my place. Which I kind of didn't expect, but I now remember seeing the weather forecast. It's a little bit different to weather over on the east coast of the USA. And of course our turn for approach has all appeared on the navigation display. Just going to check the time. Well, yet again, 12:34. That is holding strong. So it's probably a little bit too quick. So yeah, estimated time of arrival is 12:34 universal time. Might just do a quick weather update in the USA as well, if they have one. No, they don't. So 49 minutes ago, the wind was 010 at 5. So not too strong of a wind. The cloud has changed a little bit, so now I have broken cloud at 25,000 feet. It was only down to 14,000 feet or 15,000 feet before, but now it's scattered at 14,000, and then few at 4,500 and 2,200. And the temperatures come up a little bit, 18.3 degrees centigrade. I have no idea what that is in Fahrenheit. If you've got a smartphone, use an app, work it out. I could change it on the app, but I don't know Fahrenheit temperature scale, because I live in a country where everything is metric, which actually annoys me a little bit with this game. So I've changed my settings to metric for the fuel, and it's also changed the altitude. So if I'm viewing other players, I can see what altitude they're at on their gamer tag, but it tells it me in meters, which oddly I've no idea. I can't gauge that to what I am, because obviously you fly using feet. And I suppose I could quickly work it out, those 3.3 something feet per meter, but that's just too much. It's too much math to do it in such a short time. So that's a bit annoying that you can't change the measurements individually to things like that. Like the fuel, yes, measuring kilos or litres. I mean kilos actually, not litres, because it weighs different. It's not one kilo of fuel per 1 litre of volume. So yes, I do it in kilograms, but I would like to be able to see the altitude that other players are at in feet, so I can gauge that to the altitude that I'm at. Of course, it does come up on ATC if there is a TCAS warning. It tells me what altitude they're at in feet, which is handy, but sometimes you just want to sort of see it out the window and see where they're at. There's another two. Are they coming over towards us? Here they are. So it won't be the last two that we see, but it looks like we're not far from, oh god, that just populated everything. So we probably will start making a descent just before we get to Boton waypoint. So we'll make the turn, and I think we start the descent just after that turn. I think it'll power down to 242 knots just before the turn from memory. And yeah, due to the physics of this aircraft in the sim, I do slow it down in 2 further stages. So we're going to 220 knots, then down to 200 knots as we come in. So I do 220 knots, about 30 miles before the runway, and then 25 miles before the runway, flaps 1 at 20 miles, flaps 2 15 miles, and then flaps 3 sort of around 2,500 feet up, and then flaps 4 So I play that one by ear. Gear down around 2,000 feet above the runway as well, and have absolutely no idea if that's accurate, if that's correct to do it that way. That's just how I do it. It seems to work. But if I don't slow the aircraft down from 242 in the 2 stages to 200, I get overspeed warnings as soon as I put the first notch of flaps out, which definitely is not accurate at all. And of course, being in an Airbus, most of this is flown by the computer, either on the auto or the manual inputs on that dashboard sort of centre right, which the mouse cursor is going around. So until we actually come down into final approach, there's not a lot of manual control. It's all done through these inputs up here. But as you can see on the cam, I'm just sitting here. I mean, you would be doing the same in a Boeing at this stage of the flight also, just sitting monitoring controls. Sorry, monitoring the displays and the systems. Probably talking to the first officer about stuff and things. Could be the first time you've met the first officer as well. You might have never flown with them. So talking about where they live, etc., etc., etc. Do they live in New York? Are they based in Chicago? I don't even know where Delta's based, to be honest. Are they Houston? No, I don't know. And because I haven't done it for at least 2 minutes, we'll check that time again. Still 12:34. So it looks like that will be our actual arrival time, plus minus 5 minutes. So it's another 48 minutes to go. If you're wondering why I don't have my face on camera, it's not because I'm shy either. It's because I want video of the controls, because I think that would be more interesting than just my face. And also, I could set up a second webcam, but I have a funny feeling it would actually kill the frame rate off the stream, not the game. The game, it's through a capture card, so it wouldn't do anything to that. But I don't want to do any. Have any lag on the stream by having a second webcam. So that's pretty much why I don't have one showing at my face. And that's not lag from an underpowered computer either. That's lag from my shitty internet speed. I think my upload's around 12, maybe 15 megabits at best. I've seen it get as high as 17. It's meant to be 20, but of course that's 20 maximum, so you'll never ever get that. And 50 down, not that that makes a difference to uploading to a stream, but still it just gives you an idea of how shit the internet is here. I can get up to 250 megabits on a plan, but it costs an absolute fortune. I checked it, and at the moment it's $110 a month Australian for the first 3 months, and it goes up to first 6 months, and it goes up to $135 a month just to get 250 megabits. And the upload is still only, I suppose it's standard at 40 to 50 upload, which, I mean, that would be brilliant, but I don't want to pay that much for my internet at all. It's just, I love this country, but holy crap. Probably give my router a bloody good workout at the moment too. So it has got the, I mean, everything in my place is connected to it, but at the moment, obviously playing live on the Xbox. I've got the stream going out from the PC. I've got my phone connected to OBS Blade to control OBS Studio, so that's on Wi-Fi. The iPad's sitting there for the Metar as well. I suppose that's 2 devices on Wi-Fi, 2 on Ethernet. It's not bad, but yeah, the router, it's very warm at the end of a streaming session, I have noticed. And one thing I have learnt as well, if you have a microphone connected, I've got the Rode Wireless Go 2, so it's the little wireless, really awesome microphone setup, and shout out to Rode as well. I had issues with my first unit, my first set, where the battery on one of the transmitters would die after about 25-30 minutes. Well, it wouldn't die, the unit would shut off once the battery got down to 80%, and which is kind of a pain in the ass, especially when you can't really see the receiver if it's tucked away under my desk, so I couldn't really see the top, the screen, and had no idea that the battery had gone flat, unless I sort of fixate on the streaming PC screen to see that there's no input going in. Anyway, got onto them because it's still within the 2-year warranty, well within the 2-year warranty, and they got me to send it back to them, and then 2 days later they notified me to say that they're sending out a brand new replacement, which is really nice, and that arrived the next day, which is, you know, it's quite miraculous, because post in this country is also just really not the quickest whatsoever. There's no same day delivery from another city. That's just because of the distance away. Like, it came from Sydney, that's 1,000 kilometres away, and it came overnight, which is good. So really happy that they replaced that with, they didn't ask too many questions either, just some basic troubleshooting and stuff. And like I said, I work in IT, so I sort of have an idea of what information they were asking for, and I gave them everything I possibly could, and they were really good. And the new unit has another 2-year warranty, so usually with Australian consumer law, the replacement only has to have the same warranty of what you've got left on the device that they've replaced. But no, this one started from scratch again with a 2-year warranty, so hats off to them. And of course, Rode microphones are known worldwide. They're a very popular microphone company, make some amazing equipment. So I'm just really happy that they stood by their quality, their customer service as well, and got that sent out to me. But anyway, what I was saying was, if you are streaming, so I've got my capture card connected via USB 3, and then got my webcam connected to a USB 2 port, because I don't want to put too much pressure on the USB 3 bus. And then the microphone, instead of having that on USB as well, I've actually got that connected to the analog input, just to minimise everything from the USB to try and, you know, prevent any lag, or as much lag as I possibly can. I think I've got about a 1 or 2 seconds latency between the Xbox and the streaming PC, and then I've noticed that the latency between the PC and YouTube is about 14 or 15 seconds, which is I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty good. Of course, USB has nothing to do with that. That's just in the internet connection and how it connects. But yeah, I found take as much off USB as you possibly can, and use manual inputs where you can, and you'll just get a better quality. You'll get a better quality when you're using a capture card. I can plug the microphone directly into the capture card, and no, I don't want to do that. I want to have separate volume control between the two. I don't want to have the microphone sound integrated with the sound of the game, which I mean, I'm looking at the audio visually on the screen, and it looks like the capture card's doing okay. It's not too loud. I don't know if it's loud enough. I haven't quite worked out the balance for that yet. I do know it's louder if I go outside, but I'm pretty sure I can still be heard quite well over it, whereas inside it might be a little bit, or will be a little bit quieter. And I am also using filters on the microphone so it doesn't peak. Well, I hope it's not peaking. It looks like it's not. And also, if I talk a bit quieter, it doesn't go too low either. So it should have a nice balance somewhere in the middle. How are we going for time? 11:55. So another 39 minutes. No, that's, yeah, my maths is right. 39 minutes. Until we're on the ground in JFK, so that means another 19 or so minutes before we start making a descent. Might be a little bit sooner than that, maybe 18 minutes. I can see we're coming down to 160 miles away from our turn into our approach pattern. So I'm just going to put the navigation display to 160 miles and just let that gradually come down. I'm going to guess that the computer will drop our speed down to 242 much earlier than it needs to, because it has been doing that. But that's fine. I don't mind cruising along at 242. It's much nicer in my place too, with that aircon going. It's much less stuffy. It's the thing with the rain here. I live in a tropical zone on the east coast of Australia, and when it rains, the humidity just inside, and the heat just absolutely climbs, which I mean makes sense. It's tropical rains bring humidity, and well, rain in general, I guess. So just check the time again. 12:37. So we've gained 3 minutes, which is interesting because I don't have a headwind. We have got a wind coming off the right side of the aircraft. Anyway, because this is just the boring cruise part of the flight, still I'm going to go and have I'm just going to disappear for another couple of minutes, and I will be back. We'll put the outside view on, of course. Might change it. We'll go to this side this time. You can see aircraft beneath us, sort of, or north of us a little bit. And I'll be back in 5 or so minutes. think I just broke OBS Blade. I can't seem to get it to go back to the normal screen. Oh, there we go. There we go. And we're back on. Went unresponsive. As soon as I unmuted my microphone, it went unresponsive. Dylan! How you going, buddy? You're watching a little bit of the boring part. We're just in the cruise, mate. We're well, arrival time 12:37. It is 12:03, so another 34 minutes. But thanks for jumping on and watching. But you've seen these before. They're not very exciting. Also, so you know, mate, there is a 14-second delay, and so that's why it takes a little bit for me to respond to your messages in the chat. We might just check the OTC. We haven't done that for a while. Of course, there'll be a lot of a lot of aircraft nearby there where I could see, but still flight level 370 will keep going. Like I said, we probably won't start descending until after we make the turn, maybe a little bit before. Of course, you can see aircraft in front of us as well. There's one right there. Is there any down there? I suppose we can have a look on the map. There's tons around us. That's 200 nautical miles out though, but there is a few around. So another 10, I reckon 10 minutes, 10 more minutes and we'll start making a descent down into New York City. Hopefully it's not too busy down there. I really don't want to have to do a go around. It's 10:05 at night here in on the east coast of Australia. On a weeknight as well, and I'm up early tomorrow morning. Like I said, I am going to a Lego Expo, so this is I've got an early start and a big weekend ahead of me. Also, this is why I'm not streaming on Sunday morning this week, but I'll be back on Thursday night with a quick flight from Gatwick to from Toulouse in France up to Gatwick, London on the EasyJet A321neo. So I think it's about an hour and 15-minute flight, but it's using the LEAP engines, so it will be a shitty climb. Always struggles to get up to cruise altitude, and we'll probably just be cruising for about 15 minutes before we have to start heading back down to ground level, and but that's the next stream coming up. And Dylan, by the way, do you need help tomorrow? I don't, mate. I've got to go and get the van to load up with the Lego builds at 8 o'clock. You will not be out of bed by then, I guarantee it. Because you are a teenager and you guys sleep a lot. I do remember when I was a teenager, I slept a shitload as well. So don't expect you to be out of bed then to help out with anything. That's fine. And then I'll be away to the city at about 10 o'clock in the morning. So I will see you when I get back on tomorrow night. But thank you for the offer. Oh, there we go. There's our slowdown. So we're slowing down to 242 knots much sooner than I expected. I actually thought we would do that just before we get to the turn. So I'm going to turn ATC on now and just wait for ATC to vector us down. They're probably going to vector us down really early. Looking at the navigation display, we are... Oh, actually, we're probably about 120, 130 miles away. So actually, no, we will start descending fairly soon. I've read that completely and utterly wrong. Also, Dylan, you're the only one watching this live stream right now. I did have 3 watching before. One of them is me. I've got it running in a window, so I can sort of keep an eye on the that it stays online. But you're the only one watching now. I've had people jump in and jump out, but they keep jumping in during the boring bits, so hopefully they watch the replay. And no, we didn't have any problems with the stream. I had problems with the Xbox crashing right before loading up the flight, which is just disappointing. I wish Microsoft would sort this shit. And Dylan, if you're watching this on your phone, I guarantee that this webcam that I'm waving in front of now, oh god, frame rate dropped when I did that. I guarantee that you probably wouldn't be able to see too much because it is quite a small little display. But all good. Yeah, have they seen your face yet? No, but I did explain why I don't have my face on screen. It's because I can't have the webcam on the controls and a second webcam on my face, because it would just absolutely kill the stream. It would lower the quality having too many cameras plugged in. Using a webcam and also the capture card is it's 2 video sources, so I try to limit the amount of inputs I've got in, just to keep the quality up a little bit high, because as you know, mate, because you live here, internet speed in this country is a shithouse. So we're still being told to continue at flight level 370. Are we under 120 miles away? Yeah, we would be under 120 because that there. So we're 40 away from turn, but we're heading straight for it. So we'll probably start a descent maybe 5 miles before the turn, I'm guessing. If I had some Navigraph charts, I would actually know a little bit more. But I'm just relying on what's happening in the sim. Also, Dylan, do you mind telling me in the chat, is my voice coming through pretty clear? No, you've just put be right back, so never mind. Let me know when you're back and I'll ask you again. Frontier Flight 1172 Heavy. Frontier don't have any heavy aircraft. But then again, this is just a game. So not ragging on them, but I find that funny. I see that quite often. People fly Frontier and say Frontier Heavy. Yeah. So heavy would be an A350 or a 777, 747, A380. Some of the larger Antonov aircraft, obviously not the Embraer, because RIP, Yeah, Russians did a number on that one. Excellent. I've just updated the weather, and let's bring that up. So we have almost a headwind. It is 9 knots. What was it before? It was 5 knots before, but it's almost headwind, which is much, much nicer to land in. So that's good news. Oh, you're listening to me on the way. Okay, fair enough, dude. Actually, Dylan, can you hear the aircraft sounds in the background as well? Or are they a little bit quiet? I've got them turned down just a little bit, but I'm not sure if they're loud enough. And also, if I go like this, can you still hear me clear enough when I've got an outside view? Excellent. That means I have got all my sound all where I want it, which is brilliant. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick time check again. 12:37, so that is holding strong, and we've been given our descent 20 miles away from our turn, so I was out by about 15 miles. But I'm just going to descend us down to 230. Turn the brightness up on that. And I'm going to do it at minus 1800 feet per minute. Why did that not descend us? Come on. Descend, you bastard. There we go. So let that drop down to about 15. Now it's going to go back up. Why? So another issue I'm having with this aircraft as well is when you put it into descend, and it does it, and then it comes back up again. There we go, now it's dropping down. So we'll put that to minus 1800 feet per minute down. That should be about right. Of course, we can adjust it as we go. We won't descend at that rate all the way. That's just a little bit ridiculous. And ATC getting a little bit impatient. Yeah, just give me a minute, mate. I'm getting down to flight level 230. In fact, you know what? I'm turning you off. You can go away. We'll turn you back on when we're closer to flight level 230. And Dylan, yeah, do you want me to shout you out? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but sure. I'm just going to reduce our scope down to 20. Oh yeah, so we should start making the turn more or less now. In fact, the aircraft is starting to veer to the left just a little bit. On Insta. Oh, okay. You've probably got more followers than me on Instagram anyway. I think this channel, well, sorry, the page for this channel has 3 followers maybe. My Lego one has a few more, of course, but I'm not doing flight sim stuff on the Lego page. But yeah, if you think you know people who want to watch this these boring flights, then sure, go ahead. Cool. So I'm going to put that back up to 160, just so I can gauge our distance away. So when we get down to 80 miles away, I want to be at about 26,000 feet. If you look at the airport data, you can see Kennedy's only 13 feet above sea level, so I treat that as at sea level, which does make it much, much easier to do an approach. And we did take that turn just a little bit wide, so it will correct itself just a little bit. We'll go forward just a little bit, and then it will turn back to the right and line that up a bit better. There's JetBlue 1278 coming in just out our left window there. Actually, I might just check map and see how busy it is. Wow, there's a few. There's also an aircraft behind us as well. There's a couple of aircraft behind us. Oh, that one's not. That one's going the opposite direction. And this is what I was talking about. You can see on that JetBlue, if I grab the correct mouse, the altitude is 7,950 odd meters. I wish that was feet. I've no idea how high that is. I know it's 8 kilometers, but everything's done in feet. I'm at 30,000 feet. I don't know what their altitude is in relation to where I'm at. What's the song you want me to learn on guitar again? I can't remember. Was it the Nirvana song? Not Smells Like Teen Spirit, their other one, which it escapes me. So I might actually just expedite a descent down to 2,200 feet down, because I think I'm a little bit too high up. I want to be at 26,000 feet at the 80 mile mark, and we're almost there, and we're still only at 289. Or descending down to past 290. So we'll just drop the nose just a little bit. Oh, Dylan, it was You Can Call Me Al by Paul Simon. That's what the song was. I don't think there's any guitar in it, but I mean, I'm sure you could get the tune and play it on guitar. Okay, so we're at 80 miles. That's a much better altitude for that distance. So I'll just let it run down. Might as well just take it down to 230 at 2,200 feet down, and because I'd rather be lower than I need to be than higher, for obvious reasons. Of course, you can see the fuel light on the webcam. You can see where I'm pointing is still flashing, but we have over 5.5 tons of fuel. So, yeah, Turtlebeach need to sort that out. Jesus. Bit busy coming into New York. Really, I'm just going to have a quick look to see where everyone else is. Are they below us or above us? Can't see any of them. Should be one. Where are you? Oh, there. Right there. Let's see what ATC is saying now as well. I'm pretty sure it's going to tell us to go down to another drop down again. Yeah, 11,000 feet, there we go. So I'll do that at 1,800 feet down, because no, 2,000. Do 2,000 feet down. We want to be 20,000 feet, 60 miles away. So I'll just get that down under that. Bounce the aircraft around just a little bit. Actually, I haven't checked the lights for a while. Have they turned themselves off on random place? No, they haven't. No, that seems to. So that glitch is, it's only happened once during this flight, which is good. Let's hope it does not happen on landing. I don't need parking brakes to come on just as the wheels touch the ground. That is an absolute goddamn disaster when that happens. Dylan, did you like the rain tonight? I actually mentioned the rain on the stream. I took the headphones off and heard the rain and went, oh shit, it's raining. Yeah, it's humid as hell though. I just turned the aircon on to cold, man. It's really warm. Bit bumpy as we come in at 20,000 feet. I'll put the seatbelts on now because we are shaking around just a little bit. So seatbelts can come on. Update the Metar data as well. So it is currently at 29.905. So once we get below or down to about 18,000, we'll change that and see if ATC gives us an update on the QNH. So I'm actually going to change it now to 9.95. So sort of just heading away from the coastline just a little bit, obviously because it's going to arc back in, but we will also turn back in as we just started to do. And make our way up to JFK. Dylan, I just stood on a cockroach while I went to the toilet and I saw 3 more while I was in there. I think you need to get your house sprayed, mate. Or be one with the cockroaches. Excellent. So rate of descent looks pretty good. We're going to be at 15,000 feet, 45 miles away, based on the rule of 3. So that is descending nicely. Probably actually could really be a little bit lower because I do have to slow down again. And oh, that glitch just freaking happened again. So park brake has come on. Let's reset all this crap. And the landing lights have come on super early on their own. Again, I think this is a problem with the Turtlebeach. I'm gonna have to rebind these buttons, and yeah, the speed brake has armed itself as well. Just too early. I do need to do those things eventually. Definitely not the park brake. Jesus Christ. That would be pretty shitty landing. So we're about 30 miles away. I'll slow this bird down to 220 knots. We are just speeding a little bit, but I'm still just a little bit too high. Now navigation's doing that weird thing where it loses its vector line. It'll come back. There it is. So I might just reduce our rate of descent to 1800 feet down because we are just starting to pick up a bit more speed than I'd like. Might put some spoiler in just to get us down again, just a little bit. Should it click again? No, it's all fine. It's all fine. Okay. Oh, we've been given another altitude to descend to. Down to 2,000 feet. Wonderful. So we'll keep doing that at 1,800 feet down because we have made up a bit of altitude, which is great. We might as well get those landing lights on now as well. Put them back on. And I'm actually going to reduce the speed down to 220 as well, and put that into auto, into my auto descent rate. Oops, I didn't punch that in. There we go. My frame rate just turned to shit the closer we get to the ground. I swear to God, if this crashes to desktop once we land in Kennedy, I'm just going to be a little bit peeved, just slightly. There's a crap ton of cloud in front of us. Weather's picking up nothing. Righty, so 25 away. I'm now going to go down to 200. I'll keep it on auto descend as well. So the beauty with this approach too is the final approach is 10 miles long. 10 miles before the turn, I'll start putting flaps out. It just makes it nice and easy. You don't have to sort of work out calculations of turns and all sorts of things. It's just a near straight-in approach. And I have chosen runway 4 right in the hopes that the other gamers are choosing 4 left because that was the one that the flight planning picked by default. And I went for the one that hopefully is less popular. It's also a shorter runway as well. Of course, the 21neo can land on that. It's not too short for it. I realise on webcam when I'm And my hand down there like that, it looks a bit dodgy. I'm just holding onto the seat. There's nothing weird. All right, so 10 away from the turn. We're going to put flaps to 1, and I'll take that manual speed off. And also going to put that to minus 1,500 feet per minute, otherwise we will overspeed. Don't need that. That's the other thing with this, the flight model on this aircraft in the game is as soon as you start putting your flaps out, it wants to descend at 2,500 feet per minute, which is just freaking way too quick. I don't know why it wants to nosedive the plane. I don't want to say it's an MCAS problem, because that will be a Boeing thing. Or make a joke about aircraft that have crashed due to MCAS issues. Actually, we can also arm the spoilers, because I don't think we're going to need them manually for the remainder of this flight. Okay, 5 away from the turn. Let's put another notch of flaps out and get our speed down just a little bit more. We've got an updated QNH 29904, so metadata was not far off. In fact, if I refresh that, it is still the same. Cool. So we are cleared ILS runway 4 right approach. So we're just waiting. I'm just going to leave that open because I need to wait for landing approval, and then we can turn that off. Might actually just reduce that to 1,000 feet per minute down, because we're just coming down a little bit too low too quick. Oh, there is someone else landing in front of us. God damn. So Endeavour 4683 is landing on 4 right in front of us, but we've slowed down a bit, so hopefully they have finished their game by the time we come down. Also going to put ILS on now as well, because we're getting quite close to that being activated. In fact, you can see, I don't know if you can see where my mouse is, the magenta diamond, horizontal diamond is coming across, so we'll intercept the localizer soon. And airport in sight, actually airport's been in sight for a little while now anyway, but airport in sight. And 2,500. And that's 2,500, so I'm going to put flaps to 3. And we can actually intercept the localizer now, so I'm looking for a button on the quad, it's not there, it's up on the dash. There we go, and we'll go into final view. Oh, there's another Endeavour aircraft there, 4692, wonder where you're going. Moving pretty quick too. So just waiting for the vertical diamond to drop down, and we will hit the glide slope. There it goes now. So 2,000 feet. We're actually going to put the we'll put the gear down while we're there. So gear coming down. And I can see we've got three green. Auto brake, we just need medium. We just need medium, that's all we can select in this aircraft. We can't select max brakes for landing in the model of this aircraft, but that's okay. Alrighty, so we've intercepted approach, so we can activate approach now. And we'll get our go-around altitude up to 5,000 feet today. Not that I'm going to do a go-around, because it is just getting too late and I want to go to bed. And we're also clear to land. So let's Parking brake just came on. Parking brake just came on. It did it again. What lights? Yeah, it turned off. Oh my god, it turned off the nav light, turned off the beacon light. Turned that on. Jesus. This is not good. We should have flaps 4. If that parking brake comes on again, I'm gonna lose my shit. So just about 1,000 feet, do some final checks. Landing lights are on, seatbelts are on, they've been on since we were at 20,000 feet anyway. Speed brakes are armed, the parking brake just came on again. It just did it far out. And all my lights turned off. Jesus, this is going to be an interesting landing. Okay, screw the lights. If the parking brake comes on, I'll hit that, but I can't do anything about the lights because we are on final. And I'm actually going to take manual control, so my aircraft was a little bit too high. Landing gear. It put my landing gear up. Oh my god. I didn't even notice that it put my landing gear. Anyway, gear is down. Far out.
400.
We're just a little bit too low.
300.
It's all good. I'm going to get it low on purpose. And we're going off to the side just a little bit. Shit. Oh, this could be a... Come on, get down there, you... Far out, way off to the left. Right.
60, 50, 40.
And then ground effect happens. Awesome. Oh my god, get down there.
Retard, right.
Fuck me. Excuse my French. Could have been a bit more centre line, but it wasn't too bad of a landing, really, apart from the porpoising at the very end. Anyway. We're just going to turn off to the left here. I'll get those landing lights off. They'll probably turn themselves on again anyway. I bet we had a go around. Did we have a go around? Yeah, we did. Acknowledgement last transmission. Yeah, bugger off. There was nothing on the runway. Taxi 2 gates. So one thing I noticed with this A321neo in the sim, it really doesn't want to land. Like I come down and you pretty much got to push the your stick or your yoke forward the whole way, which doesn't make sense because that's how you nosedive a plane. But so if I let go of the yoke, it jumps back up again. It was worse. They had fixed it, but it's yeah. Anyway, that strobe light came on again, onto full. So we'll tidy up, we'll get rid of some of these, and hit the button. And we should be able to get the APU started now as well. Just going to check that everything else stowed properly. It did. And we'll just keep taxiing until our bloody park brake comes on its own again. I guarantee it will. It'll do it again. Can't believe the goddamn game put my landing gear up right before coming out of the runway. That's just really annoying. Just check that we're not going to be told to generic on the runway. Is there someone landing on the runway? No, you're not even taking off from JFK. Going to ignore that, going to keep going. Also, if you do play the game and you get told to hold, just check. Like, I'm not going to hold for this guy because they've just landed. They're not taking off from Cape JFK. But if someone's taking off, don't go across the bloody runway because it just ruins it. Or if they're landing, don't do it because it just ruins it for everyone. And get off the runway once you've landed. Don't sit there. Jesus, the errors I'm having make me angry and rant about other shit. Should say continue. Yeah, continue taxi. Yeah, knew it. And again, same as Chicago, there's an Air New Zealand A320neo. Don't know how the A320neo gets all the way from New Zealand to New York. Oh, there's two of them over there too in front of us. That's funny. Of course, the deliveries aren't regionally coded, and so I understand why they're there. But it's just funny. Oh, I haven't been evicted into this car park for ages. There's a whole lot of shit behind this parking stand or this gate. My frame rate's dropping big time. Hope the game is not about to crash. Where's the... Oh, fucking hell. This is why I should not follow the blue line. I should actually just read the signs. Oh, way off. Oh my god. Yeah, I need to stop following blue lines. It always takes me the wrong... Yeah, that'll do. Oh, that was terrible. But we can kill those engines, and I'm just going to sit here and wait for this... there we go. For that to go off. Taxi light can come off. Oh, what? Don't come on again. I just silenced you. Beacon can come off. Engine 1, Engine 2 bleed can come off. Gen 1, Gen 2. External power can come on. And I'll turn the seatbelt signs off so you people in the back can get your stuff and get off my plane. And APU can come off as well. We'll also turn off the fuel pumps and the batteries. So we are all shut down. Landed safely, regardless of the porpoising. The game's about to crash. Yep. You know what happened? Crashed to desktop. You saw it live. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Asobo Microsoft, would you please fix your shit? I'm done with this. This is the latest beta 10 version, and this is the 6th crash to desktop I've had today.